parcel 8 is the one that's kind of given us the best results, where it looks like we might have some fort-related structures and features.
We want to find things, and that's really one of the best things about being an archaeologist is when you find things. Granted, you don't always find them. So Tyler and I, first of all, we were just taking off a layer, pretty much the normal stuff that we always do.
Basically, we've got this new area that we think might be part of that a feature that was really exciting. So, we're just digging along, and the thing that we've been kind of looking for is sort of the metal artifacts, because we know that they preserve. So when we see discolorization that's sort of like rust, we get excited and kind of back up and kind of go at it really slow.
They had found what they thought was a fort feature, but until you actually have some artifacts that they called it a smoking gun, some artifact that's clearly American military from the late 18th century, it could be something from the 19th century, because this has been an occupied site for many years. So you can't assume that when you find something in the ground that it's from the 18th century. You have to have the artifacts to help establish the time period.
And I happened to see a little bit over in that corner where we were. And typically you can tell iron or steel apart from brick because it stains the ground more than normal. And when you attempt to scrape at it, typically the deposits of brick might just flake away. And we knew it was metal, so that was exciting to begin with because, of course, we're always hoping for historical period artifacts, which are, iron. And it looked to be iron because there was a lot less oxidation. So, of course, we're really excited.
As we went through it, we, carefully got the thing out of the earth and kind of cleaned it out, and we're trying to figure out what it is.
It started to shape up into being more than just a fragment of something that was unidentifiable. And eventually we got to the point where we could remove it, and we knew that the structural integrity of the artifact wasn't compromised. And then we took it out and began to remove dirt from it, and we realized that it was a circular object that was had an open center and what looked like a handle on the outside.
My first thought, it kind of looked like something that would fit over a pipe, so I was kind of like, that's probably not anything good. But, good thing, my colleague Dane, has some experience with firearms and knows that, no, this kind of looks like, when you have a strap on a firearm. That's a pretty cool idea, I'd like you to be right and me to be wrong. That would be fantastic.
It looked a lot like modern rifle harnesses that will go around your shoulder. It was great to have everyone here that would know the most about it. When we finally found out what it was a real treat.
What?
We just found something fun.
Oh my God.
There you
Okay, there's our smoking gun.
Yeah.
That's awesome. There's some of those in the museum.
Oh, what is it?
It's for
that's
a rifle.
Yeah, it's off of
So you
Oh, I thought you knew what it was.
It's off
Yeah.
he guessed it from his knowledge of
loop
modern.
off of a Charleville musket.
And so, we go over and take it and compare it to things in the museum, and sure enough, he was on the money, and that's pretty exciting. So it's the middle ring of French musket that was used, and that's pretty cool because they didn't probably use French muskets too much after this. So it's probably not from the settler period. There's a bit of a gap, and that's pretty exciting that you can pinpoint that archaeologically.
For me, it's kind of thrilling because you see all these things in a museum on a shelf, and they're nice and clean, and they're out of context. And no matter what you read about them, there's nothing like seeing in the context of a feature, what might look to be a fort palisade feature, and getting that, knowing that somebody's handled that 200 years ago in that exact same spot, and getting it out of the ground. And to me, that's where all the information comes from.
And so they were muskets that were made in Charleville, France, and that's why they called them Charleville muskets. And they were very distinctive because they were a banded musket. The bands that they found that was in the middle that had a swivel on it, and the swivel was where you put a strap on it so you could carry it over your shoulder. So it was a very distinctive artifact, and that's why I say you're right. When I saw it, I knew immediately that that's what they had found.
Well, my first feeling was, yes, we're digging in the right spot, because that obviously is a battlefield artifact. And I think it gives the students a sense of, obviously a sense of accomplishment, but a sense of, finding a part of history and being a part of history. This excavation we're doing now, people talk about it 30 and 40 and 50 years from now, and the evidence of what they're doing will be in the museum. I mean, that piece will be in the museum, and we'll have documentation of, you know, that they found it, and, you know, that's something that'll never be taken away.
That's what really makes archaeology fun, is when you get to find something like that. We were ecstatic, really.